Ladies and gentlemen, what is poppin'? Today we are doing an entire Series 8 breakdown of all the Pokemon, what kinds of cores we can expect them to be with, who I think are going to be the best legendaries, and we're going to be pretty much analyzing them, thinking of some good partners for them, and then throwing them into a tier list. So it's going to be a very educational video to hopefully get you guys ready for Series 8 as best as you can, baby. So that's the plan. First, Pokemon. Kyurem Black. I love the Kyurem forms, okay? Please believe me when I say I love the Kyurem forms. I got my 2016 Worlds invite with Kyurem White. He's badass. I spammed Blizzard. I don't think I froze anybody at the event I brought it to, but I pressed a lot of Blizzards, okay? So I really like them. But guys, little bit of a spoiler. Some of the strongest Pokemon in this format are going to be fairy types that are going to hit them for super effective, and steels are going to be massively, massively powerful. These guys are both weak to both of them. Ice is not hitting that much relevant stuff for super effective in this meta, and Dragon is really not hitting that much for super effective. Once again, fairies and steels are very dominant. So I am going to unfortunately say that I think they're both going to be relatively low. I think Kyurem White is naturally better than Kyurem Black just because being a special attacker is just usually easier. And no burns, no snarls, no nothing. And Kyurem White gets Flare, Blue Flare, or whatever move it is. Pause champ. Fusion Flare. And having that fire coverage, once again, with all those steals is going to be pretty useful. So I don't know enough about these Pokemon and how they're gonna interact right now to give a really big analysis on them, but I'm gonna put Kyurem Black. He's at the bottom, unfortunately, and Kyurem White here. Okay, so these are the top dogs. I don't know if I need these many tiers, is what I'm trying to figure out. But we've got two heavy hitters to talk about: Yveltal and Xerneas. Let's start with Yveltal, okay? Just a little breakdown. Dark flying type, okay? We've seen flying types be extremely good with max airstream. Yveltal is going to be no surprise there. The base stats are insane. They are the exact same as Xerneas, so your speed tying, same big attack. Yeah, their bulk is very good, but it's not like insane. Like, they can get popped if you hit them with the right moves. But anyway, Dark Aura. Boosts up all dark moves by 1.33 times. And that's crazy. But when you're Dynamaxing Yveltal, Max Darkness is going to lower special defense. So I don't know if that's going to be enough to incentivize people running special Yveltal. Maybe mixed. I could see Foul Play, Dark Pulse, Oblivion Wing, or something like that. I could definitely see that. But we'll have to see. But guys, here's the big thing. Yveltal, when you look at Yveltal is going to be great against the Ghost, great against the Psychic types. Ice Horse is a little bit different because he hits you for super effective. But obviously, the counterpart, Big Daddy Xerneas, right here, is horrifying, okay? Xerneas is going to be Yveltal's worst nightmare, baby. That is who Yveltal is going to be the most scared of. So, if you are using an Yveltal team, you have to 100% required to have very strong answers to Xerneas, okay? And so in Ultra Series, this Pokemon was phenomenal, okay? One of the best Pokemon in the game, and it's one of the best Pokemon against Xerneas. I don't know if anybody can think about it, and it's going to work very well with the Yveltal, but the answer is Stakataka, baby. This Pokemon, absurdly low speed, massive attack, resist fairy with very large special defense, can set up Trick Room, control speeds, wide guard to protect you from dazzling gleams, for example. So Stakataka is going to be an amazing partner for Yveltal. Once again, you need as many answers to Xerneas as you can with Yveltal, because that's going to be one of Yveltal's hardest matchups. I think Yveltal's going to do great against Groudon and Kyogre. Snarls are going to be amazing against Kyogre, going to really shut it down. Just big stab dark moves are going to hit them for just enough damage, and they can't really hit Yveltal hard enough, as hard as they want to hit Yveltal for. So I think that Stack Attack is going to be amazing. And then we do see very common things like Tapu Fini and Incineroar. These are like, this is just like the meme that in Ultra Series, everyone would have Incin, Fini, Stack on like every team. And it's because it's true. You control speeds, you intimidate, you fake out, you do a lot of damage. And guys, Tapu Fini's probably going to take a little bit more of a support role now in Ultra Series. We've been seeing Calm Mind as the most popular Fini set as of late, but Fini gets a multitude of phenomenal support moves. Heal pulls, it gets screens, it can do some damage with Nature's Madness. Oh, is Xerneas a big problem? How's about a Big Daddy Haze? So Fini is going to be great, and Stack Attack. So I can definitely see this being the beginning of a very strong Yveltal core. And like I said, I think Yveltal has amazing matchups, honestly, across the board. Zacian and Xerneas are the two very, very, very difficult matchups for Yveltal, though. But besides that, I think Yveltal has a great matchup against, honestly, like every Pokemon almost. So I was kind of sleeping on Yveltal earlier when I was talking about it with my roommate Mike when the rules got announced. But the more and more I think about it, I think Yveltal is going to be very, very good. You're just going to need amazing answers to Zacian and Xerneas for sure. So Yveltal's going to be the first S tier. Let's get into Big Daddy Xerneas or Big Mama Xerneas. If you guys didn't know, the most obvious Xerneas set is Power Herb, so that your charging moves only take a single turn. You use Geomancy, so in one turn, you get +2 special attack, +2 special defense, +2 speed. All it took was your item. And then the next turn, you could Dynamax. Horrifying. But there is a big asterisk here, guys, on Xerneas. We have had Pokemon in the past that did amazingly, and all they needed was one turn to do a big setup. Who am I talking about when I think of that? I think of Snorlax. If Snorlax ever got a belly drum up, you are in a really, really dangerous spot. But the thing is with how fast, powerful, strong Dynamax is, asking for one turn of setup is easier said than done. Like, Xerneas is going to need, obviously, a ton of support. Like, that's just how Xerneas goes. You're going to need fake outs, intimidates, follow me's, all that kind of stuff to allow Xerneas to actually be able to get up that Geomancy. And, obviously, I don't think Xerneas is going to be bad. I just think it's going to be a little tougher than it would seem to get Xerneas going, if you will. So, a very obvious thing in the past was people would use stuff like Amoonguss and Incineroar. Still amazing combinations with Xerneas. But Xerneas can get faked out. Maybe you double protect, but they could punish that. They could set up. They could set up Trick Room. They could do something like that. So I think a very obvious partner with Xerneas is indeed female. Psychic Surge is going to stop Priority Taunt to shut down Xerneas. It's going to stop Fake Out to stop Xerneas from Geomancying. And you're going to be able to use Follow Me. These are all amazing things to help out Xerneas. So you guys have definitely got to be prepared for Xerneas plus big support, big setup. Now, when we think of who does well against Xerneas, like I said, I think this is going to be a very steel-focused meta. I think Duskmane Necrozma is going to be a very strong Pokemon. I think that Zacian here is going to be one of the best Pokemon in the game. The Behemoth Bash is a Steel-type move that is going to murder Xerneas, so you have to protect yourself from Zacian. And then, yeah, those are the two biggest steals. But, of course, there's Stack Attacka. And Dialga is going to be potentially pretty darn fire. Okay, so keep Dialga in the back of your mind for a little bit later. That's a fan favorite. Remakes coming up, baby. The biggest on paper answers are going to be fire types and ground types. So I definitely see that happening. Incineroar is a pretty obvious one. Incineroar is a bit low damage though, in most situations. So I could actually see maybe something like Heatran being good. I can kind of see ground types fading back just a little bit. You know, Landorus is gonna get popped by a lot of stuff. Groudon I don't think will be too amazing, but maybe Heatran will come back. Incineroar, Entei, those kinds of things. I could even maybe see a Torkoal Venusaur core on a Xerneas team. You know what I mean? To get that Torkoal in a Zacian, right? Something like that. But I think I will leave it at that. But Xerneas' biggest enemy in this meta, guys, is going to be the big steel types. I feel like I'm insane. I don't know. I think it goes in S tier. Probably in like the bottom of S tier. I know that sounds wild to not just be like, oh, it's the best Pokemon. It's also going in the bag with Cosmog. Yeah, I think I would be a fool to not put Xerneas in the S tier. Gen 1's favorite Mewtwo, baby. So, guys, big thing about Mewtwo is it gets Expanding Force. This is the most brutal psychic move the world has ever seen. And obviously, Mewtwo is big fast and big strong, okay? But look at this absolute monster, dude. 150, 165, 154, 130. Mewtwo is definitely bulkier, but honestly not by that much. 106, 90, 90, 100, 80, 100. I am failing, unfortunately, to see an obvious way that Mewtwo is better than Calyrex. I mean, it gets Psy Strike. It gets a better move pool. Like, it gets more moves such as, like, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, that kind of stuff. So, better coverage. Okay, better coverage. I'm willing to admit that for Mewtwo. I think if you are running Mewtwo, you are going big into the offenses, whether that is in DD, male or female. But then you're going to need huge answers to dark types. So, I could definitely see Urshifu. You bring in the Urshifu, you come and just smack stuff up. Like, you need big, strong fighting moves. That's the best way to deal with dark types, or fairies. Yeah, this is what I'm kind of seeing as a standard Mewtwo squadron, is hyper offense, big psychic, and then you're going to have big answers for the dark types. Like, if Mewtwo's going against a Yveltal, yo, dude, that's going to be a horrible matchup, and you're not going to like that at all. So, I think with that, I think our man Mewtwo, yeah, he's got to go in here. I'll put him here. I don't think he's, like, absolutely useless. If you guys haven't noticed the trends we're seeing, steel types are going to be phenomenal. And that's where Reshiram shines. Reshiram's going to be good against Solgaleo, Dawnwings, and Zacian. It's going to be solid against all of those. And is Reshiram going to struggle against things like Kyogre, Xerneas? I think Reshiram will struggle against those. But once again, there are Pokemon that can hard answer Xern, like Sakataka. There are Pokemon that can hard answer Kyogre. I think Sun. You could be like Torkoal Venusaur with Reshiram to like set up Sun and try and beat Kyogre that way. Kyogre's gonna hate Venusaur, okay? If you guys didn't hate Venusaur already, like, dang, you're gonna hate Venusaur even more. Okay, so yeah, I honestly think Reshiram is going in A. I firmly believe that Reshiram's gonna be one of the top fire types in this format, and I believe in that. Dragon is an amazing max move, lowers the attack of your opponents. Max Flare is an amazing max move, just weather control, which we're going to see whether it be rain, whether it be sun, whether it be the after effects of certain moves like Geyser from Palkia or Ice move from Hailstorm from Ice Horse, right? So weather control is really good. I'm not kidding when I say I could see Torkoal Venusaur. I think Venusaur is going to be very frustrating for Xerneas to deal with. Venusaur can put Xerneas to sleep. Venusaur can max ooze Xerneas before it can go faster than it. It can keep hitting it. It's going to resist Fairy. Venusaur is going to be pretty annoying for Xerneas to deal with. And they are going to work perfectly in tandem with Reshiram, shutting down the steals, beating down the fairies, beating down the ground types too. So I can see Reshiram being a really good hyper offense Pokemon, to be honest. So I could see this mode, the more like standard bulky mode, Rillaboom, Aleki, Reshiram. Rillaboom is going to be a really hard matchup for Kyogre. Or you could even go with this Sun Hyper Offense mode. So I firmly believe Reshiram's gonna be pretty solid. Zekrom, I love Zekrom, man. He's cool. I used Zekrom in 2016. I built a super sick Zekrom team that got top 16 at regional. Piloted by my friend. Not me, unfortunately. Unfortunately, man, I don't know, dude. I don't think Zekrom's going to be too hot. Maybe it is. I'm kind of convincing myself as we speak, Zekrom might be okay. Because Kyogre, you're going to beat Kyogre. Ho-Oh, you're going to mess up Ho-Oh, which I think is going to be actually pretty good. Yveltal. Even Yveltal might struggle against Zekrom a little bit. I don't know if it's enough. It's weak to so much. It's weak to Dragon. There's going to be Dragon absolutely everywhere. It's weak to Ice. Ice is going to be from the Icesaurs, from Kyogre. Zacian is going to just hit you with the big fairy moves and murder you. You can't really hurt Zacian too well. He doesn't do that much to the steals. And like I said, I think the steals are pretty important. So I would probably put him at the top of this B tier. I think I would put him at the top of this B tier. I think he could be good. I honestly think he could be good. I think you could pop off with Zekrom. But I think he's a little bit more niche. You're going to have to really, really build a beautiful team around him. Because he's not just like brain dead, Geomancy, destroy stuff. Zacian, just swing the dumbass sword and kill stuff. Yveltal, Dark Aura, Max Airstream, kill stuff. You're going to have to get creative with Zekrom. So I'm not going to say he's straight doo-doo. I'm going to put him at the top of B tier, and I don't think that's that bad. Just because B tier's in the lower half doesn't mean that it's unviable. I think that C is going to be relatively unviable Pokemon. And I could see Zekrom being pretty good. If I were to think of a Zekrom core, you really got to beat these steals. Dude, I mean, I don't like this. I don't like what this meta is coming to. Torkoal, Venusaur, and Zekrom, kind of scary. You probably need better answers to the steals. Now, let's get into Necrozma Dawn Wings. I think this Pokemon is not going to be viable. I think it's going in the bottom tier. Unfortunately for Necrozma Dawn Wings, it's Psychic Ghost, which means it is quad weak to both Ghost and Dark. We've already talked about Calyrex Dark with the huge spread move. It's going to be horrifying. We've kind of talked about how good Yveltal is going to be. That's going to be a horrible matchup. Incineroar is going to be on a massive multitude of teams. Incineroar is just going to click a dark move and do a ton of damage to Dawnwings. So, yeah, Dawnwings has never really been amazing. So I'm going to put Dawnwings pretty down there. But, chat, there is still hope. Because Big Papa Necrozma Dusk main is going to be pretty darn pog, okay? Psychic Steel, historically an amazing type. We all know Steel typing is phenomenal. Take a look at these stats. Very, very bulky. Still extremely strong. And 77 base speed. Maybe that's not what you're used to when you think of slow like Torkoal or Hatterene or Dusclops. But in a legendary format, this is, I think, the second slowest Pokemon in the game as a restricted legendary. And just a weakness policy on this bad boy. And if you guys didn't know, Prism Armor, you take less damage from super effective attacks. That's the ability. So you're bulky as heck. You take less damage from super effective moves. You resist Zacian's stabs, who's going to be phenomenal. You resist Xerneas completely, who's going to be amazing. Yveltal's not going to hurt you that hard. It's going to hurt a lot, but if they activate a weakness policy, you're going to clap back. Probably might even kill Yveltal in one hit. I think Duskmane is going to be very, very, very scary. Throw Duskmane behind like Green's Grimmsnarl, Trick Room modes. It gets Trick Room itself too, so it can set it up with support. You can be Trick Room. Does it get Sun Steel Strike? It does. Oh my god, horrifying. Photon Geyser. This guy's crazy, man. Yeah, this Pokemon's so good. Earthquake for opposing steals. Grab a ground move. You might not even need to run Photon Geyser depending on your team. But you get a lot of coverage moves with Necrozma Duskmane. I think this Pokemon's gonna be very, 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 very scary. Ooh, scary. Okay, I think it is somewhat reliant on Trick Room. And I think that there are a lot of popular Pokemon that hit it for super effective. Calyrex Ghost is going to hit this extremely hard. Yveltal will hit this very hard. Even Water Spouts from things like Kyogre, you don't resist it. So, I mean, you're not getting hit super effective. So the Prism Armor isn't helping you bulk that out. It's just your natural stats. Groudon, if it sees play, is super effective. I think Duskmane, as of right now, I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. I think it's going to be very, 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 very strong. But it does rely on that setup, I believe. Just like I said, I think it works best in Trick Room. And I think it needs to be a weakness policy set, which means you're putting a lot of eggs in one basket. It doesn't have to be a weakness policy set, but it's not immune to Intimidate. Like Solgaleo, for example, has Clear Body as its ability, pretty much. Full Metal Body. When I think of teams, what are we going to need answers for? We're going to need answers for Kyogre. We are going to need answers for the Dark types. So that can be Fairy types. So I can see Rillaboom being very strong. This is going to help you deal with that Kyogre matchup, which isn't looking phenomenal. It's going to help you set up Grassy Terrain to take Earthquakes better, which is pretty cool. We might see a lot of ground types popping up. Oh yeah, and you've got all the Tapus. The Tapus are all amazing Pokemon, and they can help fend off those dark types. I can see Tapu Fini. Yeah, Tapu Fini and Rillaboom on the same team. It's really not the end of the world. Trust me when I say that. They're both super solid. Let's talk about Lunala. Now, in Ultra Series, when I was playing, I thought Lunala was the best Pokemon in the game. It had Moongeist Beam, which is insane. It had this crazy strong Z move, which was super annoying. It had Tailwind, Trick Room, and Wide Guard. Those are three of the best moves, like, in all of Ultra Series. Because Wide Guard shut down so much stuff back then. Water Spout and Precipice Blades were insanely relevant in those metas, but there's no primals in this. The red orb and the blue orb do not exist. And also, you can click Wide Guard now, and they just Dynamax and destroy you. And your Wide Guard accomplished nothing. So, Wide Guard is still very strong. Dynamax only lasts 3 turns, right? So, maybe when the Dynamax ends, your Wide Guard's going to be super valuable. But I think Lunala is unfortunately going to be the weakest it's ever been since its inception to the series. Once again, this Calyrex Ghost guy, he's really scary, okay? You are quad weak to these massive, massive stats that are going to hit you for super effective. Yveltal is going to be phenomenal against Lunala as well. Lunala is not going to be able to hurt Yveltal enough, and I think both of these Pokemon are going to be very relevant. So, yeah, I think Lunala is going to be the weakest it's ever been. Now, can I sit here and realistically put it in this B tier? Can I put Lunala with Zekrom, Kyurem, White, and Mewtwo? I think that is a little too disgraceful to Lunala, I'm gonna be honest. Lunala has the legacy factor, okay? Lunala won the world championship. I think it's probably gonna be at the bottom of A tier, or the top of B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put Lunala at the bottom of A. It gets Meteor Beam, Pog. Meteor Beam. That's the Ho-Oh counter. Hold on. Ho-Oh's gonna be pretty darn good, guys. Spoilers. Ho-Oh's gonna be pretty darn solid. And then what if Lunala just Meteor Beaming the shit out of it? This is Solgaleo's time, baby. Okay? Because Full Metal Body, you're immune to Intimidate. 97 speed, you're faster than the Primals. You're faster than the Ice Horse. You're faster than Duskmane, for example. You're a Steel type. You're bulky. You're strong. And once again, you're immune to Intimidate. So I can see some weakness policy Solgaleos popping off. You cannot lower this Pokemon's speed with things like Electro Web, Max Worm when you can't lower its attack. We've seen alone with Metagross and Dragapult just how insane, just how amazing being immune to stat changes is in this Dynamax meta. I truly think Solgaleo is going to be a monster. Now, how high do I want to put Solgaleo is still up in the air. I don't know if it goes into the S tier, like the dominant boys. It really might. It's going here no matter what. I think it is going high A tier no matter what. I personally have a lot of faith in Solgaleo. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about that. But the big thing about Solgaleo, guys, is not only could you like Trick Room and then activate the weakness policy with like Shadow Sneak or something like that, but you can do some of these really fast, immune to fake out bulldozers, such as Raikou, for example. Because you can't get faked out because of inner focus. You're fast. You bulldoze to lower the speed of both opponents. You don't lower the speed of Solgaleo because of the clear body. And then you've got your weakness policy and you start popping off. So I think the bulldoze Solgaleo strats can be very, very relevant. But once again, The big fears are things like Yveltal, this dumb horse that I keep talking about, okay? This gosh darn horse that I keep talking about, all right? Solgaleo gets Wild Charge, okay, guys? So let that sink in real quick. You might be thinking, well, isn't he going to take too much damage from Kyogre? Well, you activate Solgaleo's weakness policy, Max Lightning coming off this massive attack into Kyogre's relatively weak physical defense. And you've got some power coming behind you. 190 is not phenomenal in one of these formats, to be honest. So Wild Charge is huge. Sun Steel. There you go. That's a lot of power coming out right there. I'm just trying to think, do I think that the Ghost and Yveltal are going to be scary enough to scare off Solgaleo? I don't think so. I think Solgaleo's top of 8. I honestly have a lot of faith in Solgaleo, guys. I really do. I think I might need another tier, man. I really didn't want to do another tier. D. Ooh, with that stinky purple color. I like that. Okay, these are like the Dominators, okay? These are extremely strong. These are going to be like pretty darn strong, and they're going to need like really creative team building. These ones are niche, and then these ones are just like really bad. I think the biggest difference is like niche versus practically unviable is what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby. Sipping on Calyrex Ice. Do we have any agents in chat? Okay, so sipping on Calyrex Ice. I think people are sleeping on this mon. Psychic Ice is not amazing defensive typing, but these stats are monstrous. 100, 150, 130 is disgusting. 165, disgusting. And then 50 is very slow. You get up Trick Room, you just start clapping it out. But guys, I've been thinking about this. I know this is weird to say, but like, is Calyrex Ice that much better than Glastrier? I know that's kind of wild, but I honestly don't know if it is that much better. Now, see, the Ghost Horse, I think, is like that much more powerful. I think its move spread Ghost is brutal. I think spread Ice might not be as good, and this isn't a restricted. Like, Glastrier is stupid bulky. Even the legendaries are going to struggle to kill this Pokemon. I think it is that scary. So I'm battling with, is it worth it to use this mon over Glastrier? And then you have a whole other restricted. I could see Dusclops being amazing with Calyrex Ice. You set up the Trick Room for Calyrex Ice. You've got the Haze to get rid of. It's like the same thing, but just a better Glastrier. You Haze off Intimidates. You activate the weakness policy with something. Oh wow, Brick Break's actually not super effective now. So you might have to run Rock 2. And then what does Calyrex hit for super effective, you may ask? Well, Yveltal, which you're going to be able to take Yveltal's hit because you are that crazy in terms of bulk. And then you will kill him back. After a weakness policy is activated, Yveltal is dead in one hit, guaranteed. Steals are going to be not fun. They're going to be max steel spiking. You're going to hate playing against the steel types with this Ice Horse, that's for sure. Groudon, Kyogre's going to hit you for neutral. Yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more the Ice Horse might not be. I don't know. It's really scary. So yeah, I can see Calyrex pretty much being used on teams such as an Ice Horse, but probably being even more hard Trick Room. The thing with this Pokemon is Glastrier didn't have to be on a hard Trick Room team because you had all these other mons that are super strong and stuff like that. But in these metas, these legendaries are going to be like the centerpiece of your team. And I think that this Pokemon is going to operate at full power only under Trick Room. And I think that might just be kind of weird to do for your legendary Pokemon. So I think I am going to put, I'm debating between low A, high B. I don't know, the double ability is broken. I think I'm putting it at double A. If you guys don't know, the As One form, it gets Unnerve and Chilling Neigh. So not only can they not eat berries to save themselves from a super effective attack, we saw a ton of Shucka, Berry, Incineroar. That was pretty much the meta call for Players Cup 3, was Eerie Impulse P2, Shucka, Berry, Incineroar. Those were like the big meta calls that people made. You can't be Shucka, Berry, and Incineroar. You cannot eat the berry because they have Unnerve. They are going to clap you. Anyone who's been thinking Shucka Berry, Pog you, I'm going to survive the mud shot from this thing, the Max Quake. No, you're not, because you can't eat the berry. So you're going to have to be a Assault Pass. But Assault Vest isn't going to help you against this bad boy, who's going to eat you alive with the Big Mac Quake. So I'm going to put it at low A tier. Cali Ghost. Sipping on Cali Ghost. Doesn't work as well. Doesn't quite work as well. But guys, look at the stats. This thing is horrifying. But its physical defense is really poor. I think this is like the epitome of a hyper offense legendary. It is going to smack insanely hard. You slip up once, and this Spectrier gets up its boost, gets a Chilling Neigh boost. It can sweep through your whole team, even if it's resisted hits. It's going to just start murdering you. But if they slip up once, you can kill this thing in one hit. Like a Darkest Lariat or something from Incineroar is going to eat this thing alive, right? I think it's like the epitome of a hyper offense mon. It's a glass cannon. This is a glass cannon through and through. Astral Barrage plus Expanding Force? Oh, it's horrifying. This is disgusting, man. This thing is scary as hell. So, like, those are two disgustingly strong spread moves. And then you run, like, the Mud Shot. You need to hit Incineroar, right? As one, you have Unnerve and Grim Neigh. Incineroar cannot eat a Shuckle Berry with Unnerve, okay? But, which means you're going to murder it. You're going to get a boost. It's going to die. That whole thing of Shuckle Berry and Incineroar that was just meta is going to get shut down by this. But, so I think Incineroars are going to switch to Assault Vest, which you're going to live. I've done the calcs for Incineroar. You do, in fact, live the... Assault Vest Incineroar can live a Life Orb Max Quake. But you just chip it, and then Max Quake. Done. Because you don't eat a berry. Like, the partner who chips or finishes off Incineroar is just going to finish you off. Take the words of wisdom from Isaiah, one of the best Super Smash Bros. Players of all time. His advice, don't get hit. That's the advice for Calyrex Ghost. Just don't get hit. As simple as that. Just don't get hit. Ghost Horse is a glass cannon. Chat actually let me know that Max Quake from Life Orb and Helping Hand, Incineroar with Assault Vest lives, which is just insane. So, I still think it's going to be this good, honestly. But you are going to have to maneuver around Incineroar because, I don't know, you have a full other partner on your side of the field that can help you kill Incineroar. Yeah, as for an example, I think in DD Female, Psychic Terrain, boosting up Expanding Force, just insane. But the Pokemon that we need answers for, once again, are Yveltal. And that's where we're going to need the fairies or the big, scary electric type. I think Regieleki fits perfectly. We've already seen Regieleki Calyrex. Spectrier as a thing. So you throw Indeedee, maybe your Clefairy instead of Indeedee. It's literally the core that we've been seeing dominate. Regieleki, Clef, Calyrex Shadow. Insane. Both extremely strong. Regieleki is going to help beat down Yveltal very hard. So, yeah, I could see this being a very hyper-offensive core for Calyrex Shadow Rider. I do not see Eternatus being very good, unfortunately. I feel like this was supposed to be some kind of, like, idea to beat Xerneas, but, like, Poison is just... no. It doesn't do enough damage to Xerneas. Xerneas is going to be supported. Xerneas is then going to kill you back after a Geomancy boost. So Poison, and then with the Steels... Poison Dragon in this very heavy Steel meta, it's not cutting it. It's going to struggle a ton with, like, every Pokemon. Xerneas, I think Xerneas has the edge here. The Steel types, the Ice type, I think they all have the edge here. Maybe I'm big sleeping on Eternatus, but Eternatus can't even Dynamax. Yeah, it's bad. Here's the thing, is Zacian's Behemoth Bash, the thing that does double damage to Dynamax Pokemon, is a Steel move. Steel's great. Steel's like the best it's ever been offensively, honestly. Now, the move that Eternatus gets, it's a Dragon move. That's so disappointing. It can't even hit Xerneas. It literally cannot hit Xerneas. The Steel types that are going to be Dynamaxing and destroying you, it's not very effective. It's really not going to accomplish too much from these big Steels, like Zacian as well. It can't even hit Zacian. Yeah. The more I convince myself about Eternatus, the worse I think it is. So, I genuinely think it's down here. I think Mewtwo and Kyurem White are niche with super heavy team support. They could pop off and have some fun. But I think Eternatus is that that bad. The fact that it can't Dynamax is pretty doo-doo. I don't like it at all, actually. Next up, Zamazenta. Are these base stats absolutely absurd? Yes. But it has to hold an item. This can't be a big steel type weakness policy boy. He has to hold the Rusted Shield, which gives him a +1 defense boost when he comes out. Now, does he get body press? The answer is no. And honestly, with just those put together, he can't even Dynamax. His move, I mean, he gets Behemoth Bash, which is cool. But I don't see it being used, unfortunately. Fighting is not amazing in this meta. I would argue that it's a detriment. You're going to be taking neutral damage from Xern. The steel types all resist it. They're like Psychic type, Psychic type, Psychic type. Obviously Ice, but also weak to Fighting. So, man, these base stats are insane, but the defense boost plus no body press it's not worth running, unfortunately, in my opinion. I don't know, man. Such a good support? Yeah, but I don't want my legendary supporting. Let's see if he gets Zygarde. Let me see if he gets Zygarde. That could actually be pretty crazy. It has coaching? Okay. You guys are slowly convincing me here, not gonna lie. Yeah, there's Zygarde. Wide people guard. And coaching. Okay, people. Upon further inspection, Zamazenta's base stats, insane. Behemoth Bash, steel type. It's gonna hit the Dynamax for double. Cool. And it gets coaching off of it's extremely fast, right? He may be a steal, but he's actually still really fast. 128, crazy fast. And Wide Guard. Coaching, Wide Guard, Behemoth Bash. Maybe he can't Dynamax, but he could set up for like those stupid Dynamaxes like Colossal, Venusaur. Maybe it could be Torkoal Venusaur with this guy. Dude, these base stats are so insane, but I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit ambitious. Top of C tier for Zamazenta. Okay? Little bit of discussion here with chat. I think that's the highest I'm putting it. I really do. It's not like a Dynamax. It's not a legendary that's just going to like crush stuff. It's going to be a guy who's supporting and being annoying and being bulky and doing like solid damage. It's not just going to like wipe the floor with the enemy team like Yveltal, Xerneas, all these steel types with a weakness policy boost. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big. So I'm fair. I'm fine with that. But here we go. You know him. You love him. It's Zacian Sword, whatever. Zacian Crowned. I didn't know that's what it was called. But here we go. Behemoth Bash. Steel type move. 100 doubles damage against Dynamax Pokemon. This move is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Fairy type. You guys have seen that a lot of these guys are weak to Fairy. You know? Zekrom. All the dragons. Whether they're not even that viable or not, you know, Giratina, Yveltal. You guys have been hearing me say, man, Yveltal looks really good. The only thing it's bad against is Xerneas, and then I'm listing all these other psychic types, and it's like, well, I need a fairy type to deal with Yveltal. And the fairy types I brought up were not very, you know, they were kind of underwhelming, to be honest. Tapu Fini, great Pokemon, but just like offensively to bring down Yveltal might be a little bit too tall of an ask. Once again, right here with Fini and Necrozma. But this is the fairy type, baby. This is the fairy type. This thing's stats, let's go back. These stats, 170 attack, and it gets +1 every time it comes out from its ability. Insane, dude. This thing's hitting so hard. Do you have to rely on play rough accuracy? Yes, you do. But we're even lucky it gets play rough. I mean, shit. Tapu Koko, Tapu Bulu, they don't even get this. So I'm kind of shocked that they gave it to this man anyway, but they did. So, yeah, these two moves, cray, protect. Does this thing get Zygarde too? No. Okay, that would have been wild. That would have been buck wild. Steel Fairy is some of the best typing in the entire game. You guys have heard of the Fantasy Core, a fairy type, a steel type, and a dark type. This is two of them put together. There's only a few fairy steel types in the game, and it's some of the best defensive typing ever. And it's offensively good because fairy's kind of broken. This Pokemon demands respect. It's great against Yveltal. It's great against Xerneas. Those are the two top Pokemon that I even listed on this list. It's great against this guy, the Ice Horse. I think it is wrong to put Zacian anything than S tier. Do I think it's better than Yveltal? I have been doing these tiers ordered. I'll have you know, chat. Except for D tier, these guys suck. As of now, on my list so far, I think it's the best. Look at these stats. 115, 115, 92. It's not even squishy. He's not even squishy. Ooh, this thing is horrifying. But okay. Yeah, I think this Pokemon is very standardly amazing. So you are going to have answers to the things that are weak against it. That are super effective against Zacian, excuse me. The fire types and the ground types. So Ho-Oh, Groudon, Reshiram. These are the kind of Pokemon that you need answers for when you're using this team. So water types are going to be phenomenal with Zacian. I like the idea of Tauntaun Fini. I know it's really basic. Doesn't matter if you're double fairy. You can be triple fairy in this meta and it's not like trolling. Misty Surge, keep Zacian from getting burned. Obviously you can't hold an item, so you can't be Lumberry. So Misty Terrain's gonna help you from getting burned, from getting put to sleep. Paralyzed. I think Fini, the water typing, I think this is an amazing core here. I think you can throw on just basic stuff like Incineroar. The thing is, Zacian can work on like a very normal team, a very balanced team, but it can also be on like a hyper offense team. Zacian is straight up fire. You're just gonna need answers for opposing fire. Landorus, Fini, all that kind of good stuff. So let's go. Next up on the list, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Johto, baby. It is Lugia and Ho-Oh. I'm gonna lay it on to you guys. Honestly, I'm gonna lay it on to you straight. Lugia, not good. Unfortunately, I think Lugia is sick. Okay, multi-scale weakness policy Palkia. Oh my god. You have 90 base special attack. Have you seen the guys that we're dealing with here? Holy guacamole. Have you seen the monsters we're dealing with here? Zacian, 170. Calyrex Ghost, 165. Like, that is so beyond weak, it blows my mind. And you have to get the weakness policy up to even start chipping things. You are weak to everything. You are weak to Yveltal. Xerneas, maybe you're not weak to it, but it's going to murder you. Same with Zacian. You can't hit it. It resists both your stabs. Big Ghost Boy, going to murder you. Ice Horse, it's going to wreck you. Yeah, all the Ghost, all the Dark, all the Electric. Regieleki's going to be running wild. I think Lugia's not viable, unfortunately. Maybe you'll see a meme team here and there. Maybe you'll see some like Fling, Pitaya Berry, weakness policy, Lugia popping off, baby. All right. Next up, this is a big one, guys. I'm actually really hype about this one. Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh has been like niche, okay, in certain legendary formats where he's one of those Pokemon similar to Dialga where like kind of gets wrecked by a lot of stuff, but has like a few extremely good matchups. Ho-Oh into Groudon Xerneas was phenomenal back then. Just like Dialga was phenomenal into Rayquaza Kyogre back then. Stuff like that. But then it really didn't accomplish too much against a lot of the other legendaries. But I think this is Ho-Oh's time. Let's go back and take a look at this list. Ho-Oh is going to hit Zamazenta super effectively and resist both of its stabs. It's neutral against Yveltal. It resists Fairy from Xerneas. And it has massive special defense. Absolutely massive. 106, 154, resist Fairy from Xern. Very, 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 very good. Ghost Horse. Ghost Horse is not going to be able to hit you for super effective. It's going to hit you pretty hard, but you have massive special defense. The steel types. We talked about all these steel types. Are they going to be weakness policy in a lot of situations? Yes, they probably are, but Ho-Oh is still crazy bulky. It's going to probably be able to take the hit back in Dynamax. Sacred Fire burns, setting up Max Flare for speed control. For weather control, excuse me. And then we've got Max Airstream off of Brave Bird nonetheless. So it's just like boom, boom. These offensive typings of Fire plus all the resist and Max Airstream. Ho-Oh's gonna be so good. And I'm excited. I don't know if I'm missing something. There's not a single rock type on this whole list. That's Ho-Oh's big weakness. And electrics, rock and electric, okay? Regieleki, yes, will be very, very, very good. I'm not doubting that. And that's about it. But then no rock types here. None of these Pokemon really want to tech on a rock move because it doesn't help them against any of these legendary Pokemon except Ho-Oh. Maybe that'll be enough. Maybe Ho-Oh will garner enough respect for people to actually tech on rock moves onto some of their Pokemon. Kyogre, we're not there yet, but that's its other weakness, right? Rock, electric, water. Kyogre will be very solid, but then again, Ho-Oh, massive special defense, max airstream, boost up your speed, take the hit. I don't know, man. I think Ho-Oh is... I think it's S tier. I really do. I really, really do. I think it has amazing matchups against the top Pokemon across the board. And it's crazy bulky. It can heal itself. It gets recovered. It's very easy to support. I think the teammates, I think a lot of teammates are going to work amazingly well. Rillabooms, Tapus, Incineroars, Follow Me's, Tailwinds, Fake Outs, all this kind of stuff is really going to like help facilitate Ho-Oh a ton. Ho-Oh doesn't need to set up. I can't talk about Ho-Oh enough. Who's going to be Ho-Oh? Kyogre, obviously, right? Regieleki. Throw him on. Throw on Regieleki and Rillaboom, baby. Let's go. Okay, these two Pokemon are amazing. They synergize well together. They synergize all together. And this is the murder Kyogre task force, baby. Kyogre's gonna need the Lil B task force to deal with Rillaboom and Regieleki. Protect Kyogre at all costs, okay? That is, look how simple we just made the Kyogre matchup look. These Pokemon are gonna be phenomenal against Kyogre. Man, Ho-Oh's Pog. I don't know if I'm overestimating the power of the Ho and or the power of the O. I've got big expectations for my boy Ho-Oh, baby. Tina? Who's Tina? Who's Tina? Oh, Giratina. I thought we were talking about some girl named Tina. I was like, who the fuck is Tina? And what did she do wrong? Why are you guys hating on Tina? How's about we start with Giratina then? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Giratina time. I think Giratina is one of the sickest Pokemon ever. Now, unfortunately, I don't like Giratina Origin. Is its ability better? Yes, but it is forced to hold the Grisius Orb, which is like an okay item in itself, but no weakness policy, none of those shenanigans. You have to hold the orb. So I'm going to be honest, I don't like Giratina Origin. Ground is not important right now. I think this is where we're going to see the power is Giratina. Its hidden ability is telepathy. Maybe that will come into play with something. Not sure. But if we're using Giratina, I think it's got to be a weakness policy set. Giratina is insanely bulky. 150, 120, 120. And 90 isn't that slow. You're weak to a ton of stuff, which might be a good thing because you've got weakness policy, right? You've got Shadow Force, which is literally just Phantom Force, but better. It's just Giratina's special move, right? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're using Giratina, it's got to be some kind of weakness policy shenanigans. I don't have much faith, but its shiny's really cool. I mean, can we talk about how sick this shiny is real quick, though? I think its Giratina Origin is not viable. I think this Giratina is like the lowest niche mon. Because what's keeping me from putting it in like doo-doo is like weakness policy. It's got high enough stats, a little bit higher than Lugia. So once again, it's not gonna, it's kind of falls in that same vein of Lugia. But Shadow Force, massive move, and it lowers their physical defense. So in a way, you are continually bulking up. You're continually boosting the damage that your Giratina is going to do by lowering their defense, hitting harder and harder and harder every turn. So that's kind of where I'm at. You could be a Trick Room Giratina. It doesn't get Trick Room, but I mean, you set up Trick Room with something, then activate the weakness policy, try to do things slowly, be slower than all the Pokemon. I don't think Giratina is going to be very good, but I do think that this one is better than the Origin form, unfortunately. Palkia, water and dragon. So it is the only other water type besides Kyogre. But how good is water right now? It hits everything for neutral pretty much, and a few things for super effective, but it's not phenomenal. Dragon is pretty good too, but you're not hitting a lot for super effective. Palkia is going to get clapped by Zacian. It's going to have a bad time against Yveltal. It's going to get eaten alive by Xerneas. It's going to be good against Ho-Oh. I'll give it that. Steals, not really. The ice Pokemon, not really either. I think Palkia is not good. honestly not good. I mean, it can be used. Its base stats are great. Here we go. Base stats, phenomenal. Big damage, bulk. It gets Trick Room. Just having Trick Room on a legendary is very, very, very good. And then, you know, it gets like Spatial Rend. It gets its own move. High crit chance dragon move. Hydro Pump. These kinds of things for really big damage. So, I think it can work. I think it's not weak to a ton of stuff, but it's not like strong against a ton of stuff either. So I don't really see it. Yeah, I'd probably put Palkia here. Dialga, however you want to pronounce it. I think Dialga is sick. Steel Dragon is awesome. Okay, Telepathy, cool ability. Once again, these max moves, Max Wormwind, Max Steel Spike, 2 very, very, very good max moves. What is Dialga's weaknesses as a Steel Dragon type? Fighting and ground. You see any ground types here? Only one is Groudon. Hitting Dialga super effectively is going to be a challenge. Its max moves are amazing. Steel boosting up its defense even farther, very, very good. It gets Trick Room, as we've spoken about. Let's just bring up a mock set here. Flash Cannon, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse probably better. Trick Room, and then you've got all these coverage moves. Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, whatever you're looking for. This is just one example set. But I think Dialga's typing is amazing. Okay? Steel, Dragon. I don't know if I'd go as far as great into Xerneas. Just because Xerneas gets up a Geomancy, your special attacks aren't going to hurt that badly, which means, are people going to run physical Dialga? I'm not going to sit here and say it's not viable. I think it might actually be a play. I don't think it's that crazy to think. You could be physical Dialga. 120 is definitely enough, especially with some weakness policy set that I'm kind of cooking up. I've already been alluding to here. Yeah, you hit Xern. Ho-Oh's not really touching you very much. You're not really touching it too much either, but as long as you have answers to it, it's fine. You're going to resist all these steel types on the field. It's kind of going to be like a stall match against these steel types, but you have Earth Power. You've got Max Quake. Big offensive Psychic Horse isn't going to hit you super effective. None of these things hit you for super effective. You get Trick Room. You can get a weakness policy up. You have amazing max moves. I think this is an extremely viable Pokemon, and it's going to have an amazing matchup against Kyogre, who's going to be very strong as well. Genuinely think Dialga's going to be pretty high. So I'm thinking something like Dusk Ops, Eviolite, Trick Room. You can activate Dialga's weakness policy with Bulldoze. Break if you really want to, but Bulldoze Trick Room stuff seems very viable. Nothing crazy right there. Once again, you could even be one of those fast Bulldozes, Raikou or Salamence, right? Salamence is picking up a tiny bit. You could be these fast Bulldoze sets. Yeah, and then you could even just be a Trick Room setup. You could set up Trick Room for your, maybe an even more powerful Ice Horse. What if your Ice Horse, Dusclops, Dialga, and Ice Horse? That sounds scary. That sounds scary, chat. I think Dialga is very, very cool. It's very different. I think its playstyle is going to be very different from a lot of the Pokemon on this list. I'm either putting it right here in A or above Shadow Horse. This is where I'm leaning with Dialga. I have a lot of faith that this is Dialga's time to shine, maybe. I really do. Rayquaza. Guys, I think Rayquaza is going to be really not good. Its defensive stats they leave a lot to be desired in this kind of format. Now, huge attack and special attack, I don't know. It kind of sucks that you have to split yourself kind of thin here. Like, if this special attack was in other stats, it would be amazing. 95 is really slow. It's really, really not fast. Like, it was really important with Kyogre because you turn off the primordial, the desolate land, and you just kill it. I genuinely think Rayquaza is, like, I think you're trolling. Like, if you love Rayquaza, if he's your favorite Pokemon, like, you can make him work. Weakness policy, all that shit, you can make it work. But I don't think it's, I don't see the point. I don't see the point. We're into two big boys. Groudon. As I alluded to, the red orb and the blue orb are no longer in the game. There are no primals. How big has that affected our legendaries here? Well, I think Groudon drops a bunch of tiers, and I think Kyogre is still extremely strong. People's very obvious first go-to is Groudon Venusaur. Yo, crazy, man. Like, yeah, this is good. Obviously, this is good. But how about you be a different legendary? You just be a different legendary. And then you just have Torkoal Venusaur. What's the problem? Torkoal's slower than all these legendaries. All of them, by far. He's still a counter to Trick Room. He still sets up the sun. Obviously, I get that Groudon Xerneas is a thing. I mean, sorry, Groudon Venusaur is a thing, but I don't think it's worth it. Not being a fire type, you cannot switch this in on Kyogre. You will get murdered by a water spout on the switch in. You probably just flat out die to a Max Geyser from Kyogre in certain instances, I'm willing to bet. So I just don't like it. It's probably pretty good against Zacian, I'm gonna be honest. That might be where Groudon's strengths lie, is in the Zacian matchup. And Zacian is that prevalent. Maybe Groudon's that good, but just Groudon against Kyogre, really not good. Against Xerneas, it's not a fire type anymore. It doesn't resist Fairy. It's gonna get whopped by Xerneas. Ho-Oh, potentially pretty good against Ho-Oh. Honestly, you can tech a rock move. Ho-Oh can't hurt Groudon that bad, but I don't know. Just Sacred Fire, burn Groudon, and then you're big sad. That's possible. The steals, but that's, you know what? The more I talk about Groudon, the more I'm kind of convincing myself that it's not horrible. It's great against all these steel types, including Zacian. It does have some bad matchups though. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit better than I'm giving it credit for. But I do think it is gonna struggle a lot. Groudon needs to get through the Xerneas is gonna be annoying, but Venusaur is good against that. Ho-Oh is gonna be a problem. So the thing is Ho-Oh is weak to rock and water. But water with the sun isn't gonna be an easy fix. Maybe you go with some electric types like Regieleki or some of the other good electric types we've seen in the formats. I don't think Rotom's gonna last. Coco, Zapdos. I can see Zapdos. Earthquake next to Zapdos. Zapdos kind of covers some stuff. So this is almost where I'm feeling. Ice Horse is just a little lackluster the more I think about it. Ice Horse may go down into B tier. I don't know. I think Groudon's like fine. I think Groudon is better than I thought. I probably was going to put Groudon down in B. I'm willing to give it an A. I'm willing to give it an A at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the Ogre, Kyogre. I've been talking about Kyogre a lot today. And as we can see, here's Kyogre. We're finally there. And I think Kyogre is absolutely phenomenal. This Pokemon is horrifying. Drizzle instantly boosts up its water moves. Unlike Groudon, Sun, ground type, there's no inherent big synergies there. If anything, it's kind of a detriment against chlorophyll users, I guess. But huge special attack, solid bulk. The special bulk is massive. The physical bulk is fine. And the speed is fine. So this could be a Trick Room. This could be a Tailwind. The biggest thing is Torn Ogre. This has been big in the past. It's going to be big now. Prankster, Tailwind, Water Spout. It's as simple as that. All these Pokemon, like Zacian, Yveltal, Xerneas, Ho-Oh. It's only super effective against Ho-Oh. It's neutral against all these. Even these Pokemon eating a neutral Water Spout from Kyogre at full HP in the rain does absurd damage. Absurd. And then maybe they've got Wide Guard. Maybe they've got like Weather Control. You can just Dynamax the Kyogre. This thing Dynamaxed, insane bulk, hitting stupid hard. You're going to control the weather in that way too. You're going to be setting up the rain over and over and over again. You cannot stop me. I will have the rain up. And then Dynamax ends. Maybe you've taken some damage. Switch to Origin Pulse. Boom, boom, boom. More massive spread water damage. Thunder can't miss in the rain. For if you need to hit things like Ho-Oh. Other water types like Tapu Fini. I think it's above Xerneas. I think it's above Ho-Oh. I don't know if I'm giving Yveltal too much respect right now. Yeah, Yveltal's bad against Zacian and Xern, but I think it's solid or good against almost everything else. Oh, this is hard. This is actually really hard. I think I'm going to put it here. So guys, for Kyogre, obviously a lot of teams are going to have things like Regieleki and Rillaboom. They're going to be going after Kyogre's throat. But Kyogre in the past would have things like Serena to stop priority moves, which is going to be good against Rillaboom. Regieleki I still see being pretty scary though, but you can have Lightning Rod. All it can do is Electro Web. That might be all it needs to do, is just an Electro Web. So you know what? I think I'm going to go with this. I think I'm going to lock in with Kyogre a slightly below Yveltal. So, your boy forgot about Zygarde, so I'm going to clip this in here. But Zygarde has the Power Construct ability. When it goes below 50% health, it turns into this thing with insane HP. But the thing is it has to dip below half HP. It's quad weak to Ice. Kyogre's going to have Ice. Xerneas is going to just one-shot this. Can't be the Aura Break ability when it's Power Construct. Aura Break is not viable, so don't bring that up. Maybe it's super effective against Zacian with the ground, but Fairy is super effective against Zygarde too. And the dipping below half HP is really, really detrimental. In the past, people ran things like Tapu Fini and Coil Zygarde. You coil, boost your stats up. Tapu Fini with a Misty Seed. Tapu Fini sets up screens and heal pulses you. These super, super heavy support set up Zygarde teams. The thing is, like, Zygarde can have like the Pinch Berry in the past. Pinch Berries aren't in the game anymore. I mean, they are, but with Dynamax and they got nerfed. I don't want to say that it's completely useless. I could see it like here. Guys, I think that this is going to be my tier list for all the Series 8 Pokemon. We broke down some common cores, what we can kind of expect to see with these kinds of Pokemon in the future of Series 8. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, baby. It really does go a long way in keeping the channel going, bringing more people to the channel, all that good stuff. So I appreciate you guys for watching this. I hope you guys kick some rear in Series 8, and we'll see you guys next time.